We are slowly approaching one whole year since Overwatch 2 has been out, and in this video I want to break down exactly what happens next for Overwatch. How many things have the Overwatch developers nailed in the past year of Overwatch 2, and what remains to be done if Overwatch 2 wants to have a healthy life for the foreseeable future, and what exactly is the future of Overwatch, and what is in store for it for the next year that we're about to enter into. But before we begin, my question of the day is, what do you want to see in the second year of Overwatch 2? Let me know down below. Now, on October 4th, 2022, that's when Overwatch 2 officially launched. It was in beta, but that's when the game full launched, and it was just a crazy period because the game just absolutely popped off. Like, there was more people playing than ever. A ton of people that never played the game before jumped in, and people were enjoying the game. Even though the game was kind of dubbed as like Overwatch 1.5 or 1.2 or whatever, there was still a huge amount of people that were playing the game for the first time, and a lot of people really enjoyed the game because Overwatch, in my opinion, has always been a very fun game, and people trying it for the first time, people really liked it, and it showed. A lot of people really played the game a lot. A lot of people really grinded the game a lot. There was a lot of public support for the game. Even people talking in opposition, people said, yeah, I understand that it's just this or it's just that, but it's fun. And at the beginning, things were crazy hype, and especially me personally as a content creator, where this channel was literally birthed in those first couple of months of Overwatch 2 out of nowhere, it was a wild time to say the least. Now, this lasted quite a while, but eventually some problems started bubbling up here and there with balance, things like one-shots, some little growing pains kind of going into the 5v5 format, and different things that the community overall had problems with, but still the sentiment of the game was fairly positive. And I think most people still were holding out on the big PvE announcement and the future of Overwatch. But with the announcement of the canceled Talent Trees PvE, not only did a lot of people feel really disappointed about this because they really were hopeful that this was going to deliver, but this was a reason for a whole bunch of other bigger creators just outside of Overwatch in the gaming space to just kind of dogpile on Overwatch 2. Not that it wasn't deserved, but it 100% shifted the mentality of the masses to Overwatch 2 was unnecessary, Overwatch 2 is a failure, and Overwatch has to spend the entire next year trying to shake off that bad press, that bad blood, so to speak, and build trust in the community again. In my opinion, this whole year had some pretty big successes at the start, some pretty big failures towards the end, but especially moving into this whole next year, no one is going to be a defender of Overwatch. There are going to be very few people, even people that like the game, even people that grind the game, no one is really going to defend it in the public space in the same way that Overwatch 2 was defended on launch, where yes, maybe there were problems with it and maybe it should have never happened and been created in the first place, but people were having fun. And I think people are still having fun playing the game, but it's hard to actively enjoy a game when everyone around you, all your friends, everything you read, everything you see just is non-stop negative about the game that you want to play or you like to play, right? So going forward from here, what does Overwatch do in order to build the player base back up, build the trust in the community back up, and put Overwatch on a course to be a big player again? How do you build that all back up? How do you make Overwatch last? What is the future for Overwatch 2 over this next year and beyond? Well, I think in the immediate, there are still problems that need to be solved that will get solved. They are actively in the works, and I think that they will get solved. It might take them, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but over this next year, they probably will get solved. The ranked problem will probably get fixed to a point where the community is fine with it. It typically takes Blizzard a while to do these things, but with them already doing things to fix ranked now, and then they also said that a lot of changes will happen over the course of the next 6 months, we will have a better fully formed ranked sometime this year. Now, in addition to that, there are other problems that are also going to get fixed. Quality of life issues. Zimming is a problem on console, where console users at the highest levels will use like mouse and keyboard to get an unfair advantage. Being able to use a mouse and keyboard with aim assist is just completely broken. They've already talked about how they are going to be addressing that. I don't know exactly how severe they're going to deal with it, but that's another problem that they're dealing with. They're also actively combating cheating and things like that. And these are the little things, these are the little wins that Blizzard can get to build some trust in the community. As you start to fix these things, as these problems get less and less, and people are enjoying the game more because these problems don't exist, then more people will kind of find that faith in Overwatch again. So that's the first thing they're going to do, and they're going to do it sometime within the next like 6 to 8 months, in my opinion. Now, in addition to all those problems, what else are we going to be getting over the next year? Well, we're going to be getting steady hero updates. We're probably going to be getting anywhere from 4 to 6 heroes over the course of the next freaking year. And we're going to be getting new maps and new modes. I imagine they're going to be expanding Flashpoint quite a bit. And they're going to be adding a lot of new maps to the hero pool. And we're going to be getting steady balance changes, which Blizzard's balance has always been hot and cold. Sometimes it's fine. I think like the meta before this one was actually a really good meta where things were fairly balanced. And then boom, we run face first into a goddamn Tor, Bastion, Orisa meta that we seemingly can't get out of. But at the same time, even Overwatch 1 had a lot of these bounce problems, and I think just because of the nature of 5v5 and Overwatch 2 as a whole, it's like harder to mess it up like in Overwatch 2 a bit. But maybe Blizzard devs will get in a groove, and over this next year, balance will be a lot better. We expect to see a lot of changes, but whether or not they're good or bad changes remains to be seen. I'm gonna try to remain optimistic even if I'm not very confident, but at least we're getting changes at all, and we're not going to get stuck in a bad meta for like, 7 months or whatever. We will be getting consistent changes and updates and things like that. But I do have some more fundamental questions about the future of Overwatch as a franchise, right? We're going to be primarily focusing on PvP for the foreseeable future, but with the problems with Overwatch League and the esports as a whole, what is Blizzard going to do to like reignite maybe like the tier 2 scene of the esport? Is the esport going to be left to die? Are they going to legitimately make the game more competitive now that the focus is PvP? What is the future for Overwatch 2 now that it's a PvP focused game? If we really are we just PvP but just for the sake of grinding ranked, or is there going to be some other goal, some other reason to grind? I know that they did talk about maybe a tournament system or something along those lines. Is there going to be prizes? Is there going to be tournaments that are supported where you can win money? What's going to happen with the future of grinding Overwatch? Because this is the thing and the big question that I have. How does Overwatch continue to keep people interested and even bring new people into the fold? Because I really don't think just introducing new modes and new heroes is enough, right? Oftentimes you see with a lot of these other live service games, whether they're Fortnite, whether it's Apex, or pretty much all of them these days, they introduce large amounts of changes. Like Apex has these crazy changes that they go through that we've never seen in Overwatch, except for the change between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. Apex does that quite often. Fortnite just does some crazy mind-boggling changes, and the game is not even recognizable today as it was like, 2 years ago. And the only games that don't fundamentally change like this, I think, are games that have an emphasis on the competition aspect of it, right? Everything about a game like League of Legends, yeah, the game doesn't fundamentally change because it has a pro scene that needs to be healthy and things need to kind of stay in place. But I guess it really remains to be seen, and we're gonna have to see how this next year plays out, centering around Overwatch esports and how competitive Overwatch becomes with PvP as the new focus of the game. Now, I also want to say personally, as a content creator and coach, I noticed that content as a whole has been on the decline. People have been less interested in learning about the game. People have been less interested in watching the game, except for maybe their favorite streamers. And I really want Overwatch to be very successful, but I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen in this next year more than just steady hero updates, steady hero balances, and new maps, which I just don't think is enough to bring in the masses or heavily reignite the passion in Overwatch or reignite the content for Overwatch, reignite the education scene for Overwatch. I don't see it. So that's the thing that I'm worried about and concerned about. But I'll break down more of my personal thoughts and my content journey actually on the 4th of October, when a year has gone by since I started this channel or have been posting on this channel. We'll go into a deep dive there so you can check my full thoughts then. But do me a solid and smash that like, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and let me know down below, how do you feel about the future, the next year or two, about Overwatch? And I'll see you next time.